Hey, buddy. Hey. Pitada, né, cara? Levanta esse mato.
Mordeu na minha mão.
Mano, tem alguma coisa ali, velho.
People who spend time in the forests across America, campers, hunters, hikers, even park rangers, all say the same thing. You learn to recognize normal wildlife behavior. Deer usually run the moment they notice you. Coyotes keep their distance. Birds fill the woods with constant noise. Those sounds are a sign that everything in the forest is normal. But sometimes, something changes. Campers have reported deer standing completely still for minutes, staring deep into the trees like they're watching something approach. Hunters say they've seen animals refuse to run, just frozen in place. Locals living near forest edges have described coyotes pacing back and forth at night, howling at something no one else could see. And park rangers occasionally report moments when entire areas of forest suddenly go silent. No birds, no insects, no movement, just stillness. Experienced hikers say that moment is the most unsettling, because when animals start behaving like that, it usually means they noticed something in the forest before humans did, and the footage you're about to see begins exactly the same way, with animals acting in a way that doesn't feel normal. A group of forest hikers had gone out patrolling a trail late at night inside Allegheny National Forest. It wasn't unusual for them. They had walked that route many times before. The trail was quiet, only the sound of wind moving through the trees and their flashlights cutting through the darkness. But then, one of them noticed something strange near an old wooden utility pole beside the trail. At first, it looked like someone standing behind it, just barely visible, a tall, pale shape, partially hidden in the shadows. When they pointed the light closer, they realized something even more unsettling. The figure looked completely white, almost blending with the fog, but the eyes appeared dark, completely black, and it wasn't moving. It just stood there, watching them. For a few seconds, none of them spoke. One of the hikers slowly moved closer, trying to understand what they were actually seeing. Was it a person? A reflection? Some kind of trick of the light? But the moment they reached the pole and aimed the flashlight directly at it, there was nothing there. No person, no animal, no place for anything to hide, just the empty trail and the trees behind it. What makes this clip even stranger is that the camera clearly captured the figure standing there only seconds before. And when I first saw this footage, I was honestly shocked, because the shape behind that pole doesn't look like normal wildlife, and it doesn't behave like a person either, which raises a strange question. If nothing was there when they checked, then what exactly were they looking at
Pitada, né,
just
cara?
moments before?
Levanta esse mato.
Mordeu na minha mão.
Mano, tem alguma coisa ali, velho. Tem alguma coisa ali atrás do cara, atrás do poste lá, velho. Eu vi alguém ali atrás do poste ali, cara. Outra luz lá. Ó, cara, tem alguém atrás do poste ali, velho. Tem alguém atrás do poste ali, velho. Mano, eu gravei alguém ali, velho.
Não, tá aqui. Tem nada aí, pô. Velho, olha aí, ó.
Ah, velho.
Pô, tá meio aberto.
Cara, vocês não viram? Tinha alguém aqui, mano.
Pô. Tá vindo ali perto. Tem.
Cara, eu vi alguém aqui, por Deus do céu, velho. Juro pela minha vida que eu vi alguém aqui, cara.
Viu?
Olha aqui. Ó, tem nada aqui, velho. Tem um caminho aqui ou não?
This next clip was recorded during the middle of winter inside White Mountain National Forest. The ground was completely covered in snow, and the forest was quiet in the way it often is during cold daylight hours. A man had taken his dogs out for a walk along one of the forest trails. At first, everything seemed normal, but suddenly the dogs stopped. Then they started barking loudly at something up ahead. Not on the ground, up in one of the trees. The man assumed they had spotted a squirrel or maybe a raccoon hiding in the branches. but when he looked up, he immediately froze. Because sitting on one of the branches was something that absolutely shouldn't have been there. A deer, not standing under the tree, not running through the snow, but somehow positioned on top of the tree branch itself. For a moment, he just stared, trying to understand what he was actually seeing. Deer aren't built to climb trees. They don't jump onto branches, and yet the camera clearly shows the animal high above the ground, balanced in a way that doesn't make sense. When this clip first started circulating online, many people didn't believe it. Some thought it was edited. Others said it had to be an illusion created by the angle of the camera. But when I first saw this footage myself, I was honestly shocked. Because no matter how many times you replay it, the same question keeps coming up. How did a deer end up on top of a tree?
Good dogs! Good dogs!
This clip was recorded deep inside Allegheny National Forest. According to the person who captured the footage, he had been hiking back toward his campsite late at night. The forest was quiet, and the only light came from his headlamp and the moon above the trees. As he walked along the trail, he suddenly heard something unusual. A barking sound, At first, he assumed it was a dog somewhere in the distance. Maybe another camper had brought one into the forest. But the sound didn't seem to be coming from the ground. It sounded higher, almost like it was echoing from above him. Curious, he stopped and pointed his flashlight toward the trees. That's when he noticed movement in the branches. Something was up there, a dark animal shape moving between the limbs of the tree. And then it barked again, loud, sharp, clear. But the strange part wasn't just the sound, it was the location. The animal appeared to be several feet above the ground, standing or balancing somewhere within the branches. The man kept recording, trying to get a clearer look, but the creature stayed mostly hidden in the shadows. Every few seconds, it shifted slightly, making the branches move. Then it barked again. At that moment, the man reportedly stepped back and lowered the camera. Not because the animal looked aggressive, but because one thought suddenly crossed his mind: how did it get up there? Most animals that bark, dogs, coyotes, foxes, don't climb trees. And whatever was making that sound seemed to be far higher than any jump could explain. When I first saw this clip, that was the same question that stayed in my mind. Not what the animal was, but how it reached the top of that tree in the middle of the forest. This next case comes from the forests of the Upper Peninsula. In late 2023, a man staying at a small deer camp stepped outside early in the morning after hearing unusual noise coming from near his property. At first, he assumed it was normal wildlife. Coyotes are common in the area, especially around wooded camps. But when he walked closer to the sound, he noticed something that immediately confused him. A coyote was stuck in a tree, not under it, not beside it, actually wedged several feet above the ground between the trunks of an apple tree. The animal had somehow jumped up between two branches and gotten trapped there. At first, the man couldn't believe what he was seeing, so he pulled out his phone and started recording. The coyote struggled to free itself, twisting and pushing against the branches but unable to climb down. What made the situation strange wasn't just that the animal was stuck, it was the question everyone asked after seeing the video. How did a coyote manage to get that high into the tree in the first place? Some wildlife experts suggested the animal may have jumped up while chasing prey like a squirrel. Eventually, the man used a vehicle and a rope to carefully pull one of the tree trunks apart just enough for the coyote to escape. Within seconds, the animal dropped back to the ground and ran straight into the forest. The moment was captured on video and later shared online, leaving many viewers surprised. Because seeing a coyote trapped in a tree is something most people never expect to see in the wild. If you found these clips interesting, there are many more encounters like this happening in forests around the world, from strange animal behavior to unexplained sightings deep in remote woods. These moments are often captured when people least expect it. I regularly upload videos exploring disturbing forest encounters, mysterious wildlife moments, and unexplained footage, just like the ones you saw today. So if you enjoy this kind of content, take a moment to explore the channel and watch some of the other videos. And if you want to see more cases like these in the future, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next upload. Because the deeper you look into these forests, the